Hello everyone, System Chalk here with another episode of Ike Upscribe, Apostle Obsonate. As always, if you'd like to get notifications for these videos, you can hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell beside them. And if you like the video, feel free to leave a like and a comment. And if you dislike the video, feel free to use the dislike button, and I'm happy to read your comments, although please be kind. Alright, so we were, in the previous week, we were taking a look at how we're going to deal with the tentative evidence. We're sort of dealing with some financial difficulty, but more importantly, we're on our way to improving my imagination. So that's going to be the main focus on the oncoming playthrough. The next thing too is I want to see if I can start taking advantage of Slee's abilities here. So I sort of ignored the long, somewhat at my peril really, because they came after me in my dreams with some fascination. But I'm going to see if I can start throwing some of my followers at them to deal with the problems. Alright, so it looks like we got a patron coming up, and sickness has hit me. Now this is actually going to be something that becomes a particular challenge moving forward. So the Savorous Blood is going to be finishing in about 6 seconds. I've got an affliction, so all of this vitality, none of it's going to be going towards improving my strength. All of it's going to go towards healing me, but fortunately we won't need to pay for the cure. And it does look like the Season of Ambitions is coming up, which I believe does mean we're going to wind up getting some blood. So we shouldn't have to worry about the trouble for too long, but it is going to create some difficulty just in terms of managing my fascination problems. I have a disease, my blood is wrong, my bones are sick, I'll die, but perhaps I can preserve myself long enough with the holy blood of our delight. Oh, for those of you who are unfamiliar with it, you notice how all those passion stack together. If you hit the tab key, that does the stack. You can also use this button here. And also, worth remembering, if you haven't checked the settings for a while, things have changed quite a bit. So if you go under keys, you can now remap everything. Alright, let's go back to the well. And it would have been nice to get the Furtive Truth, but some extra vitality certainly won't hurt at a time where we're getting a bit sick. So exercise or something rarer has invigorated me. Use with another vitality to improve... Whoa! You improve your ability. It lasts only 3 minutes unused. I did not know that it unpaused in the background during that. I feel like that's a bit of a not a mistake. I feel like that's a bug, but... The well in the wood is sacred to the Grail, the hour that hungers, and to the velvet, the hour that guards secrets. Tonight, as I approached, it heaved with the velvet's moss, struggling waves of deep and vibrant green, pulsing again and again from its throat. It surged around my calves, rose to my thighs, and this morning I still feel the velvet's breath strong within me. Alright, so let's deal with the affliction first, because that's going to start stacking up on me pretty quick. Actually, you know what? Given the fact that I only have 10 seconds left on the fleeting reminiscence, let's kill the fascination first, because I don't have any dread at the moment. Next up, we've tracked down a rumor, so of course we've now signed on to the potential that we're in danger, given that we've earned some notoriety. So here, and we did that for a hanger-on. This is the person who we saved in the Mansus, and turns out they weren't that promising after all. Usefully malleable, but they'll probably never amount to much. You might be able to recruit this acquaintance as a follower. So of course, it wasn't as much of an emergency with fascination. I could have just improved this hanger-on into a pawn, but I have slightly better uses for my talk verb at the moment. Alright, study-wise, there are more windows in my soul, but sunlight is not the only thing that passes through a window. So what we'll do there, we'll take my wild imagination. It's rare that I have 3 glimmering that just occurs naturally, so sooner murder an infant in its cradle than nurse unached desires. So we will take a minute of that. And the others speak little to me, but now they nod when I pass. Here is my pay. So again, we're tired after working a full day. But we do have some money to show for it. So the question now would be, do I want to try and earn some money through painting? Do I want to try and earn it through Glover and Glover, and particularly having to sort of beg for my job back, which is going to take time? Or do I want to try and shake some of the... Well, I guess I can't paint because I just tried to put the... I just tried to improve my passion. So really it's, do I want to go back to the sort of the everyday work, or do I want to try and push for something a little more advanced. And at this point, I think I just need the money. And again, the extra vitality isn't going to hurt here. So I'll use my Arms of Iron to spend 50 seconds to earn a coin. What do we have here? The Long's plans, Shadowy Presence. We still don't really know what they're up to, so we will leave that be for now. And can I do anything with my Explore verb? I'm just taking a minute to think about this. I know the gameplay doesn't go by while I'm sitting on pause, but I feel like there's something really obvious I should be doing with Explore. Strathcoin's going to require us to deal with the Guardians, and I suspect we'll have to pull the wool over the eyes of the congregation too. So let's just use the occult scrap and move forward. In 56 seconds, I'll take this affliction and combine it with one of these vitality. I think this one is the oldest. The oldest that'll still be around by the end. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. We can learn from each other. So who did we get? We got Dr. Ibn Aladim. So Dr. Ibn Aladim, called the Alapine, has an interest in overlooked history. He could use your assistance. So here's something interesting for those of you who may not have... So there's always a benefit to keeping a close eye on some of the implications of Cultist Simulator. So when we take a look at our follows, you'll notice that Eldridge is mortal, as is Rose. The Weary Detective is also mortal, which is a very useful property for hunters to have, but it looks like Sulochana and Dr. Ibn Aladim do not have the mortal trait. I will leave that to you to think about what that might mean. But these are the nice little things that you can find as you play this game. There's always another little secret to find if you look close enough and if you're particularly inclined towards looking for things like that. So when we use our talk verb, what do I want to try and do? I could say we need to try and deal with the notoriety. Actually, you know what? I'm going to wait the 0.8 seconds. So sickness came from our forlorn blood. We knew that that was going to be happening, so we'll put that vitality in place. What hungers drive us? Paul Samuelson is going to be mailing off our blood, hopefully. So it looks like it's a season of despair coming up next. I don't have to worry too much about the notoriety yet, and so I suppose the question is: do I want to try and use Sylvia to get rid of this the evidence now, or do I want to risk it? And you know what? Sylvia is about as good as she's going to be. So at the risk of causing some problems for myself. Significant conversations in a smoky meeting room. What do I need from my follower? Add your cult to send... add your cult to send them out on cult business, send them after enemies, or raise another matter. So of course I could put it here and we'll hoodwink. This will be a way that we could get some money, but that's not what I want to do. What I want to do is send her after the tentative evidence. Send a devious minion to destroy evidence. My scheme will most likely succeed. There is always a chance that something will go awry. Now, I don't have any heart followers, so I'm not able to try and do a charm offensive to get rid of the notoriety. So I decided I would try and snuff out that fuse as early as I could. A courier has arrived from our delight with a single vial of their most holy blood. My illness has come for me. If I survive, I must taste the blood of our delight, and soon. If this illness cannot consume health or Saber's blood, it will kill you. I would like to try and turn some of this reputation into painting as well, but obviously we have a few demands on our attention at the moment. Alright, the others speak little to me, but now they nod when I pass. Here is my pay. And we're still improving our imagination, so at this point we'll go straight back to the works. Oh, hang on, we can't go straight back to the work site because my body is falling apart. So, looks like I need to plead to keep my job. This is not a pleasant conversation, but it may be a necessary one. So this is not great because, of course, it means that I'm going to be spending all of that time trying to get my job back as opposed to generating money, but generating money was never really an option here. So here's my fevered imagination. We still have the point of staleness, which I'm going to want to get rid of at some point. We've got the forgotten Mithreaeum. Curiosity seekers have picked over this ancient temple, but there may be a hidden door here somewhere. So this one is tempting to make a move on. And then we have our affliction to get rid of. So all I need now is time. So what do I want to do with my study? Let's read Wrapped in the King, seeing as I don't really have that much else to do with my study verb right now. So Wrapped in the King, we did read this last time, but detailed accounts by James Colin Murphy of secret bacchanals and ecstatic dances observed in necropolises and graveyards in southern Europe, in Egypt and in Anatolia. The author is a self-confessed ghoul and eater of buried flesh. He claims to have witnessed the dances while at his feasting. So, the dances draw from the traditions of the mysteries of the cults of Isis and Sibyl, but include both symbolic and literal flayings, and the human heart is always central to the rites. The author punctuates his accounts with queasily sensuous descriptions of his own interrupted feasts. Nice little light bathroom reading. Alright, what do I want to do with Explore? So I don't have any more locations to check out. I could sort of roll the dice on... you know what? Yeah, let's take a chance on the Mithreaeum. So we're going to use Neville to lead the way, and we'll add 1 fun. So I'm convinced the Mithreaeum still holds secrets, and that it's discovered. Sorry, I don't know if I read this, but curiosity seekers have picked over this ancient temple, but there may be a hidden door here somewhere. I'm convinced that the Mithreaeum still holds secrets that its discoverers never found. It's unlikely to be dangerous, but the search will require funds. Expeditions need at least 1 funds per obstacle. Followers will defeat obstacles. If you run out of funds or followers, the expedition ends. Now, hidden doors, it seems to me that that's more of a lantern thing, but I suspect Nock will be able to handle it. And of course, Slee's currently dealing with our foe, so I don't have a lantern option right now. This will generate notoriety, so we are kind of hoping that, we already have the notoriety, so we are really hoping that this tentative evidence gets spiked, but I await word. So there's the affliction again. Now, depending on what the Long does, they may Sundust Dread, so we're not out of the woods in that regard. I have been offered another chance. I am apparently expected to be grateful. So right now, let's just turn this into money. That way we can just kind of get the we can get the timer rolling on that thing again, and we will try and get rid of the staleness as time goes by. So let's take our Anthic elaboration and try and get some more followers into the cult. I can, of course, try and get a commission from Dr. Adim, but that's going to use the work slot, and I really can't afford that. So our expedition plans for the next challenge. It'll consume funds. I can add funds now, or I could send another follower. So this is... If you take a look at the write-up, so you get your hints here. I've given my agents the opportunity to serve. Let's hope it ends well for us all. And then it sort of prepares you for the next obstacle. So it says here, a hidden door. Hidden doors can be found with lantern or knock. Now, it's not guaranteed. I could, if I had another knock follower, I could sort of improve my chances there, but I have sort of limited agents. So my hope here is that this one winds up working. But basically, once you're on the expedition, if you didn't guess correctly, you still usually have enough opportunities to put enough bodies towards your obstacles. The real risk that you run here is wasting, or at least for me, the real risk that I'm running here is running out of money. But at this point, I feel reasonably confident that Neville's going to be able to take this on. So, baseless rumors. If our enemy repeats a story often enough, it might stick. A heart follower, the stronger the better, might be able to defend against this action. Regrettably, we do not have a heart follower yet, so we are sitting and waiting for the hit to our reputation. And I'll take it. It is what it is, but my reputation is no longer entirely my own doing. Well, mystique is not the worst thing for me to have right now. That'll help me with my painting. So this is going to be a little tricky because I do need to use the Delightful Blood as well. But I don't think I have enough time to do both. So the sick room grows close and stale. Time to get up. The dream of the end. I consumed a little vial of blood, lie back, close my eyes. Tomorrow I will be stronger. So this only takes 10 seconds. We're lucky there. And Wrapped in the King gave me some vitality. At these greater feasts, a black pig is always crowned as king before its slaying. On this occasion, its heart was weighed in the balance against a knot of feathers, and its skin became a cape for the officiant. Its flesh was left for the crows, but I must confess my interest was not in its carcass, but in the perfumed flesh of the milliner laid fresh in the earth. And for that we gained a waking chant. Who could hear this and remain unmoved? The sleeping, the dead, the earth and the sky? Use this in a rite with a Byzantine tinct and a meteoric bullet, or other resources of equal power to summon a percussagant. Alright, welcome developments all around, I would say. I suppose the question would be, I suppose I can afford to combine these two into a higher vitality. It would be nice if I had something else, but we're skilled in uncovering hidden ways. We will probably find this hidden door, so we're not going to add anything for the assistance. I am much recovered. More than that, I am sumptuous. The sclera of my eyes, the veins in my wrists are aswim with gorgeous serums. When the vitulation comes, I will be the centerpiece of our delight to prove their appetite, to enact the grail. So we have savorous blood for the next little while. That's good news there. I do have some fascination, and it does look like a season of visions is coming up, so this was the worst possible timing, but in 1.5 seconds, this is going to turn into... this is going to be tricky. This is going to turn into a fleeting reminiscence. So, I'm going to try and do my best to be quick on the draw. Does mean I lose this vitality, but this will make life a little easier for me overall. Damn. Alright. Oh wait, but this will get picked up on its own, so not so bad. The sun flickers like a shadow, dreams ripple behind the surface of mirrors. I must be careful not to drift from the waking world. Fascination may provoke visions. So we'll take our affliction, we'll take this vitality, we'll get our health back. I was thinking that maybe one of the ways I could get my health back would be doing some more work with the hardened physique. I'll probably do that anyway, but maybe I'll try and get at least one painting in before I give up with Glover and Glover. Obviously, I want to try and get the expedition done first before I commit too much money one way or the other. Okay, let's move you over here. Let's take... So I definitely want to throw my notoriety in there. And this time I think I'm going to throw the 3 passion in, because again, we're trying to shake the staleness. Now, the question is, what do I want to use as my inspiration? Because I don't really have any people. Sylvia, actually, you know what? Let's go for Rose. We'll do a portrait of Rose. It's because I'm not going to be... Sylvia I might use for other things. Rose I'm less likely to need. Faint lines in stone, a surface that yields to pressure. We found it. The hidden door moves with a grating shudder and a shower of dust. Our spy has returned to us. Alright, so they're preparing their next action. I'm still trying to think about whether or not I would like to... You know what, I think I am going to throw Slee back in. It's not like they really did a whole lot for us, but I'd still like to try and get a better handle on... I'd try to get a better handle on the Longso. I could spend money on paints, or perhaps I could find more exotic pigments. Okay, so we've got my first lesson learned for improving the physique. Now again, we're going to need 3 of these, but I am still going to try and lift as many heavy things and put them down again as I can. Only after I go to Glover and Glover, though. So let's try... I don't really have a whole lot to do with the study verb, but in this case I'm just going to try and make the most of my... I'm just going to try and add the get the extra erudition. You never know when it'll come up in other cases. Okay, contentment might be useful. Nothing's coming up in future. This is something special. It may provoke a reaction. Let's see what we got. My recent work is considered significant. I may yet earn a living from this, but nothing is certain. So some extra glimmering, which is nice. I may or may not convert that into... I may or may not convert that into a lesson learned. We'll see. Obviously, we've taken out quite a bit of the passion. Notoriety still has almost 3 minutes still left in it. We've gotten rid of the staleness, and we got 3 funds for the trouble, which is kind of nice, especially because I'm short on cash. So back to Glover and Glover for a minute. Got my health back, so we will start going back to the manual labor when the time comes. And the dream slot, I think we can start going back to the wood even though we're short on passion. So overall we're looking pretty good. This will be actually, so with old unhappy far off things, I'm probably going to wind up painting before I wind up going back to the the work site. It does mean that I'm going to, unfortunately, it does mean that I'm going to wind up probably missing out on the vitality lesson learned, but I kind of have an unlimited supply of those. So Yzabet has always been most comfortable by moonlight. She has excellent night vision. She is often overlooked in daylight. You may be able to recruit this acquaintance as a follower. So Yzabet is particularly welcome, given the fact that she is a moth follower, and it looks like we're going to be having some problems with evidence. This one is ready. So the reason why old unhappy far off things was provoked, again, we were talking about Grail, so you may not normally associate it with that, but Yzabet, again, moth follower, so that's why we saw the creative impulses emerge. A lonely space, musty with the memory of blood. We have found the hidden door that the highest grades of initiate used. And on that note, we'll leave it at a cliffhanger because I'm still going past 20 minutes. Thank you very much for watching, and next week we will see what the Mithreaeum produces.